A message for my people.
Nick Dad, baby. We the new label.
Yeah. Now this the black sheep, sticking its home. I need a crib like I'm Gatsby.
I need it
in hand, just understand
My pocket's that deep.
with nothing to prove. I ain't got nothing to do. When they can't compete and I got nothing to lose.
Before we get going on today's episode, big ups to the members of the Patreon. We got Tristan, Abel, Ben, Christopher, Derek, Jerry, Jordan, Mike, Nick, and Thomas Robinson. As you guys can see on the screen now, if you're watching this on YouTube, youtube.com/veterans minimum. If you have not subscribed to the YouTube channel, please go ahead and do so, because starting September 11th, that is after week 1 of the NFL season, the show is going to be going live on the YouTube channel. So you'll be able to watch this show live as it's being recorded on YouTube, youtube.com/veterans minimum. But what you see right now is the Patreon and some of the tiers. We have a $5, a $10, $20 and $40 tier, and depending on what tier you pledge to, you'll get certain perks like discount off merch, free item upon sign up depending on which tier, shout outs, giveaways, might have said discounts already, Discord, the betting picks, especially with the NFL coming up. And I'm putting out my futures next week, next Friday, the futures that I bet and will be betting for the NFL season. So that's patreon.com/veterans minimum. And now we get right into the show. My guy is in the building. Hail to the, don't say the R word.
Listen, we'll always be Redskins, but they can chill with the petition. It's all right.
Yo, you saw that?
Yeah, come on, man. Of course.
100,000 people so far?
Yeah. And like, it was so funny because somebody actually came back and broke down what 100,000 means, like in terms of petitions. They were like, this is tremendous. And it was like, it still means nothing.
Yeah.
We can't get the trademark back. We like all of those things. It's just, let it go.
Crazy.
It's for me, we can't be so staunch in our racism that I can't let it go. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
As a brown person, like, of course I want us to still be the Redskins. I still call us the Redskins. But at the same time, if anybody from a marginalized, community feels as if that name anybody, like, because it's more than one, it's thousands and, people. If they feel a certain type of way, you have to respect that. Mm-hmm. And you got to be willing to move on. Like, I can't say, Black Lives Matter or different things and then not be able to then also say the same thing for someone else. Right. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah, you can't be selective with it.
No, you can't. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, because that's the thing to me, is the arrogance and the staunch racism, where it's like, so you just okay. Like, they said that they don't like it, but I like it better. Like,
yeah, that's not how this works, bro.
Your opinion doesn't matter.
That's not how this
you
works.
Know what I mean? I never wanted us to change, but we did, and hail to the Red Wolves. Hopefully Washington Wolves coming soon.
Dude, I always felt like they should have called themselves the Pigskins.
No.
Because you could still go with the nickname of the Skins. They were the Hogs in the 80s.
Yeah, and I did not want anything Red Hogs. I did not want that at all, because, listen, what were the Hogs? The Hogs were our big fat linemen.
Yeah.
I'm not calling Terry McLaurin a hog. Yeah, I'm not calling a small 5'7", 200-pound running back a hog. It's just, it's not how hogs work. So yeah, I wasn't a fan of hogs. I was all in on Red Wolves. I was okay with Red Tails. And then I'm trying to think, but everything else was just like generic, like the Washington Potomacs. It was bad. Washington Presidents.
If you guys got called the Red Tails, you'd be made fun of.
And that was my thing.
Life.
But hey, you know what though? But as far as the Red Tails, though, it's same with Wolves. It at least had like an identity that we could get behind. You know what I mean? Now we got air sirens at games, people showing up to games in flight suits. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it could take on its own. Oh,
so you're saying like a theme amongst the fans?
Yes.
Okay,
because
that.
Think about it, like Redskins, we never were all like, outside of the Chief, shout out RIP to Chief Z, outside of the Chief that came to games as like in headdress and stuff, we didn't like come in war paint, and we never did the chop. Like, we knew our name was racist. We kind of like kept it quiet. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't like we were ever really
didn't add on to it, right?
we didn't
Yeah.
add on. It was too much. It was already too much as it is. That's how I know everyone really knows, because it was just certain things we didn't do. It was like, yeah, we already on borrowed time. We just gonna chill out.
Yeah, don't make it hot, bro.
Don't make it worse.
Don't make it worse.
But so you know, I haven't seen you, but I haven't seen you for a reason. You've been a world traveler. You know, you're getting some stamps. How was Colombia?
It was
Yeah, we didn't have a chance to talk.
grade A. It was grade A.
Before we got on air, so I ain't gonna ask any ignorant questions. But
Nah, listen, I'm gonna say one thing though. I'm gonna say one thing, and this might be the most serious that I'll ever be on this show. A couple things. Number one, it's been my dream place to go visit since I was like 7, 8 years old.
You wanted to be a part of the cartel, okay?
I'm obsessed with the Colombian cartel, bro. I'm fucking upset, dude. I did all the. So yo, you want to hear a funny story? When I was down in Colombia, I would tell people like, yo, I want to do all the Escobar shit, because they have museums, they got tours, they got all that.
Yeah.
So everyone immediately thought I wanted to go blast coke.
Yeah,
I was like, nah, that's not what I mean. I was like, yo, you know, like I'm obsessed with Pablo Escobar and his aura and his rise to power.
Yeah.
I've had one of my most successful episodes, and my personal favorite episode I've ever done is I had the DEA agents that Javier Pena and Steve Murphy, that Narcos is based on.
Mm-hmm.
I had them on the show, and it was dope. One of them is actually a Washington fan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think I remember you telling me that.
We didn't dive into like pro sports until the end. And I was like, oh, dude, I didn't even get to ask you guys. Because we were talking about like the cartel influence on Colombian soccer, where in that decade plus, like 18 of the 20 teams were owned by like kingpins.
Yeah.
So it was some really sketchy shit going down.
1,000%.
So, bro, I would tell people that I would meet down there, because
He's not on the team anymore. Why? What happened? Don't worry about it.
yeah, should have never took that red card, bro. But dude, it was funny because I would tell people, like, so where I stayed in Medellin was this place called Poblado, and shout out to Isaiah. I know he was down there a couple months ago. A lot of Americans, very tourist attraction area, right? And I would tell people like, yo, I want to do like, you know, all the Pablo Escobar stuff, and they're like, oh, we know a guy. I'm like, no, that's not what I mean, bro. That's not
I don't
what
need
mean.
a guy.
Yeah. So I went, I did like the museum. I saw like a bunch of his stash houses. I saw his gravesite where people still go and they like pay respect and shit, because it's a very polarizing topic down there. Like half the people I met still riding with him to this day, because he did a lot of good
For that country.
Yeah. He also did a lot of bad.
Yeah.
And I would tell people that, and from a young age, bro, like, you know, I grew up in Queens. A lot of my buddies to this day are Colombian. A lot of Hispanics, big Latino community there in Queens. And I played soccer growing up. So like, I always wanted to go there. And, you know, of course, Colombian chicks are my #1 draft pick on the big board.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Again, we will continue this conversation off air. Okay, all right, fair enough.
Yeah. And look, listen, if your girl ever break your heart, fellas, just go to Colombia. You'll be all right.
Hey, look, listen, there's a couple countries like that. Like, yeah, you'll be all right.
You'll be all right, bro. You'll be all right.
I mean, you got to bring about a good 2 to 3 G's, but you'll be good. You'll be set. You'll be set.
Not down there, man. You know, I've said
That cool
too much. I've said too much.
That cool 500 will last you.
I've said too much. I've said too much. But yeah, it was at a great time, and it was the first time, dude, truthfully, in my life that I got to relax. Didn't bring a laptop.
Yeah.
Phone was on do not disturb. Because I'm constantly like working, bro. Whether it's
I understand.
Whether it's here behind the camera, in front of the camera, the editing, the networking, just
something.
constantly. Yeah. And I was able to just like chill, you know.
You know what? And that's interesting to hear you say that, because like there's been a couple of times over the last couple of weeks where I've actually had a moment to just have a moment. You know what I mean? Not do anything. Like literally just let yourself think. No TV, no nothing, in silence. And you'd be shocked what you actually, like, where your mind goes, like how ideas start to evolve even more, because you're not thinking. Like, just be quiet for a moment and see how, you know, just see what the universe, see what God gives you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's profound, because we are like always something. We're always in the car. I'm in the car. I'm thinking, you know, these dumb son of a, like in traffic. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? But like, and then with all the work that we do, we're always doing something, even when we're not doing something, my mind, and I know your mind, is always still on something. You know what I mean? And so to like actually just allow yourself to be, I'm gonna try to make more room for that.
Nah, dude, I think it's really important, and it was super eye-opening because I tell people that my biggest problem is that I can't relax. Oftentimes, I'll have people ask me how much time do I put into my show.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, from the time I wake up until I go to bed, that's all I think about. Obviously, I'll be doing other shit too. And like when I go and I do jujitsu, I'm not really thinking about the show.
Yeah.
But everything else, man, is like, all right, is there something with Josh I recorded 3 months ago that could come to my head that maybe is a little relevant now that I could go and fire back up and maybe make a clip out of it? Let me go back into the archives because I have a hard drive and I have everything saved on there. So I do have that I think about too.
Yeah.
But man, it was dope because like, dude, lately I did some reflecting on this trip too, and not to get like too deep and spiritual because I'm not really into that kind of stuff really. I'm kind of just like work. But you know, like practicing what you preach.
Yeah.
I would tell my dad, I'm like, yo, you work too hard. You don't like enjoy the fruits of your labor. It's all about the labor. And then I saw some video, bro, pop up about this dude was talking about how I reposted it. He was talking about there's no rewind button. And he was on the phone with his wife for like 35 years and they were planning this trip. They're from the East Coast. They wanted to go to like Santa Monica or some shit. Maybe Venice Beach or something. And like on the phone, she had a heart attack and died. So then this guy goes over there and you know those like man on the street videos? The guy is being interviewed. He's like, yo, what's your like biggest life advice? And he's like, yo, there's no rewind button.
Yeah. And
I know I had already booked my Colombia trip prior to that, but I was like, damn, you know what, man? Like I want to live a little bit more. You know, like I really enjoy living. I know it sounds super broad.
No, but you enjoy, but actually enjoy more of it.
Yeah, man. So to be able to go over there and just like, you know, my question to you, honestly, is what's your dream place to go visit and why haven't you gone there yet?
So I've been to every continent at this point. I've been to South America, North America.
Well, I know you've been to North America.
But Canada. You know what I mean? There's a northern part to North America. But Europe, Africa, you know, Asia. I still have like places I want to go in different continents. So in Europe, I still got to get to Greece. I still have to get to Spain. I still have to get to Portugal. After those three, then, you know, I'll start branching out and get to Germany and some other places. But like those three, I have to get to.
But what's your number one pick, bro? Mine was always Colombia.
That's left.
Well, what was your number one place that you went to?
Well, Paris is one of my favorite cities in the world.
Okay.
That's definitely one of my favorite cities in the world. I'd say what's left, I have to see the Taj Mahal. So I have to get to India and see Taj Mahal. Because since I was a kid,
there's a Taj Mahal in Atlantic City I could take you to.
No, it don't work. That's not the same. That's like living in Vegas. Like, yeah, I've been to Paris. Nigga, no, you haven't. People have said that. Like, people literally will say that to me, and I'm like, are you serious?
There's a New York.
Yeah, there's a New York. I've been in New York.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Come on, bro. So as far as like landmarks that I still have to get to, it would probably be Taj Mahal. And that's like a trip because like there ain't no airports near Taj Mahal. So that's going to be like a pilgrimage.
Damn, yeah.
Yeah. Like I would have to, and then, you know, I still have to get to Australia, you know what I mean? And still a lot. This is a big world, man. Like I have so at home, one Christmas, my mom gave me and my brothers, because we've all been around the world, she gave us like global maps, and she gave us like thumbtacks to put it into where we've gone. And, you know, people always are like, man, you've been so many places. And I like look at the map and I'm like, I ain't been nowhere. Like, you know what I mean? Because when you really look at how big and vast the world is, you know, the biggest thing I can tell anybody is to travel, just because you get so much out of it.
Hell yeah, bro. And also it adds so much more perspective to your life. Mm-hmm. Like, dude, fucking Ubers down there were like $2-3.
With a straight face.
And I would tip, you know, like you could tip on the Uber. I would tip whatever the ride was.
Like $2, yeah.
Yeah, I would tip it. And bro, they would all message me like, if you need a chauffeur, you need a private driver for the rest of your trip. And it just adds context, bro.
Yeah.
I was eating at like fancy restaurants and shit. I'm not a fancy restaurant guy at all. I'm super low key, but
$15.
When I was on vacation, I was like, damn, bottles of wine and all this shit, like $140 for two people. I'm like, This ain't back home. The bottle alone is 140.
Yeah.
It just adds context to everything, man.
Yeah.
And perspective is dope.
It is. It definitely is. But let's go ahead and get into some sports.
Let's get into some sports, man, because there's so much more I want to say about Colombia. But I'm going to keep this.
Yeah,
maybe we could do a Patreon only version, baby.
Hey, if they pay for it, you can say whatever you want.
Yeah, because then you asked for this. Always remember that. All right. You want to do NFL or UFC first? I'll let you pick.
We can go UFC first.
Okay.
You know what I mean? UFC 292.
Okay. In Boston.
In Boston, I always find it so funny that they put certain matchups in Boston, knowing fair well that this person isn't really Irish, or that if they are Irish, that it's just very interesting and selective. Like the Irish fans are going to come out because that was like Conor's first huge moment was in Boston. I forget who he fought. But I remember that card because it came on Fox. That was a free one. And it came on Fox. And that was actually the first time I really watched him. And I was like, oh, this Conor McGregor guy, I'm going to actually start cheering for him.
That was the Dana 50 G's, man.
Yeah.
That was on Fox, yeah.
Yeah, I remember it being free. I was like, oh, okay, free fight. Shoot, I'll watch it.
Dude, that's why I talk all the time about the fucking prelims. You never know who's going to start on the prelims.
Yeah,
that ends up fucking being the number one guy or champion. Or, yeah, bro. Like, those are important.
Yep. So with this one, with Sean O'Malley, shout out to the Contender Series. It's gonna be interesting. I can tell you from being a part of Aljo's camp in some ways. I can actually say that. It's gonna be interesting. It's going to be interesting. I didn't mean to start with the main event first, but if Sean can find a way to keep him away,
yeah,
he has a chance. But if Aljo gets inside it all, it's going to be problems.
Yeah, when you look at this fight, I kind of feel the same way as you. And the one thing that's fascinating about this matchup is I always talk about path to victory.
Yeah.
One fighter in O'Malley has a clear path to victory. It's keeping the fight standing and keeping Aljo at bay.
Yeah.
Stay away. He's even made it very clear that I can't let this guy get his arms around me because he knows it's backpack season. Aljo takes
it's back to school.
Yeah, he has no problem with just scoring points, getting ahead, and getting a W. And as I've gotten older, I've talked about this a lot with Adesanya. I have no issues with you. And I think we had this conversation too.
Yeah.
A couple episodes ago where I have no issue with you doing what you got to do to win, even if it's boring. Like Corey Sandhagen a couple weeks ago, he got booed out the building. But he knew that Rob Font is super dangerous, taking the fight on 2-3 weeks notice.
Yeah.
I'm not going to stand and bang with him when I know that's his bread and butter. And also that's where he's most dangerous. So I'm going to take him to the ground, lay and pray. Let me get out of there. Collect my check, my show, and my win.
And I don't lose any standing because that's the other side of it. Like, it's not like, oh, we had a fight of the year and I continue to have the same space. Like, I was the number one contender. I stay there with a loss. Like, I lose, it affects my livelihood. It takes food off my table. So what are we here to do? We here to win or we here to lose? You know what I mean? Of course you want to be exciting and excite the fans, but at the same time, the fans are going to come and go. The fans are going to think what they want to think anyway. You know what I mean? It's crazy, just kind of pulling the curtain back sometimes on some of these guys, talking with them and just getting, the feedback that fans give. Like, fans are crazy. I can say from this post that I just had, like, I know that you've gone viral a couple times. Like, bro, these viral clips when people start going crazy and it's like, what? Like, people are so just, as a society, we got to get better. Like, well, me and you talking about shoes, and then somebody throws something crazy in the mix where it's like, the heck that had to do with shoes? Like, I mean? It's just, it's interesting. It's interesting.
Because people here, they don't listen.
I don't know what it is.
That's a problem right there.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, look, definitely people.
I'm getting some head nods in the back, bro.
Yeah. Listen, people speak, but they don't care about being heard. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just talking. But what you're saying is ludicrous.
We have an expression back home how sometimes you're chatting
Yeah.
and sometimes you're talking.
Yeah.
I want you to be talking, not chatting.
Yeah. Because chatting, we ain't doing nothing. We just sitting here.
You're just killing time, bro.
Yep. Yeah, 1000%.
Yo,
1000%.
so this main event, the thing I find the most interesting is Aljamain Sterling. The way I envision this fight going is he has him covered everywhere except in the stand-up.
Yeah.
And he knows that. And I think the knock on Aljamain Sterling, I feel as if there's a lot of momentum now on him being potentially the best 135er of all time. You look at the resume, you look at this streak that he's on, and you look at how many title defenses he's had.
Yeah.
He has a serious case for him to be the GOAT at 135.
Who else would be up there with him?
Dominic Cruz is the guy that gets floated around.
Okay. Who else?
That's about it, dude. Because then after that, the belts get passed around.
Well, because what division was Mighty Mouse?
He was 125.
Okay, that's right. That's right. He's in O'Day's division. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, exactly. So I think he might be. You
So
know what I mean? One or two more.
Well, I think this is it. I think win or lose, especially if he wins, I think it's a wrap at 135 because he's also best friends with Marab. And him and Marab are like inseparable, bro. They're fucking everywhere together.
They are.
I see them over at Syndicate often. They come in and train, and it just like knowing some people that know them in Vegas, and I've ran into them out in public, and they're just always together. Like they're really boys. They don't want to.
They're great friends.
Yeah, they don't want to fight each other, and they're not going to fight each other. And I think he knows. He also doesn't want to make this cut to 135. He's a big dude, bro.
Aljo?
Yeah.
Nah, he does that. He does that in his sleep.
No, he does it, but it doesn't mean that he's enjoying it.
Well, I'll tell you this. I don't know how much I should say on air, but I'll say this: the biggest thing for Aljo right now, because I told him I did not want him to take this fight just because he has been hurt and he needs time. Like if you really look at the last
really quick turnaround, he fought in May.
If you look at the last 2 years, 3 years, he's been like one of the most active fighters. Like he's fought 2 times already this year. This is his 3rd time this year. Like no other champion can say that. You know what I'm saying? So like he needed a rest for some injuries. I'm not gonna say what the injuries were, but he definitely needed some rest. So if he gets this win, I just hope that he's able to chill and relax for 7-8 months without even thinking about a fight. So that's my hope for him.
This will be 4 fights in 17 months.
Okay.
Pretty active, man.
Yeah.
Him, Izzy. You saw that graphic of Izzy that's been going around?
Yeah.
You're going to appreciate that dude when he's gone, bro.
And remember, Izzy, he messed up his knee? Didn't he like do something to his meniscus before that last fight?
He got hurt in camp. Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? These guys go through, it was interesting because, so when I was at Aljo's sparring, I was at a sparring session. This is International Fight Week because this was before Jamal got hurt, and it was so interesting to watch fighters because if you think about it, that's how like when we never talk about injuries, like you know what I mean, going into a fight, whatever, but these guys get hurt because they literally are fighting to get better. You know what I'm saying? It's the only thing that any sport, if you really look at it from that perspective, like my job is to inflict pain, inflict damage. But for me to get better at my job, I have to inflict pain and do damage and receive damage. So like going into a fight, these guys have so much that we don't even know about. You know what I mean? Like so many things happen. I just found that I never really you hear it, but until you actually witness it, it's different.
Bro, people are beating the shit out of each other in gyms.
Yes.
I mean, just like lighting each other up.
And you can attest to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see it all the time. It's like, bro, you're fighting next week.
Yeah.
Well, what are you doing?
Take it easy.
And then,
relax.
There's also like, I was having this conversation with Jerry, my jiu-jitsu coach, because he does something where when guys like Aljamain come in, guys like Marab come in, certain fighters come in, whether they're drop-ins or they're training there, he's very selective with who he allows to go roll with them. Because you see a UFC fighter in there.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, this is my
this
time to shine. Let me get my comeuppance on this
flex.
guy. I can tell my boys that, yo, I fucking heel hooked Marab or some shit.
Yeah.
It's like, well, they have fights coming up.
Yeah.
That's why Jerry, and I don't know how other coaches are, I'm assuming it's probably the same, but he'll tell people like, yo, don't go with this dude. Go with him. And he'll be like, hey, he'll call someone like, yo, Chris, come over and go get around him with him. Because he knows that like Chris is safe. He knows that Nick isn't safe. So I'm not going to let Nick go with him. I'm just throwing out names.
I was like, wait.
Nah, bro. I'm a hell of a role.
You're out here injuring people?
Nah.
I know his fight is coming next week. Let me go ahead and let me go ahead and get that leg.
Nah, dude, there's so many times that I'm rolling with people that I have them in bad situations and I'll let go because I don't want to hurt them.
Yeah, well, because you don't want anything to transpire.
Yeah, and it's not even fighters. It's just like fucking school teachers and shit too. Like it's your boys.
You got to walk.
Yeah.
I need you to walk home.
We got work the next day, bro. We got work the next day. So, yo, here's something about Aljamain. And I would love to hear your take on this. He's the most disrespected champion of our era.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
Even when he wins.
Multiple fight winning streak, multiple title defenses. You know what I'm saying? There's always a yeah, but. Always.
Every single one of the last couple wins have been yeah, but he gets knocked out by Marlon Moraes, right? Mm-hmm. And since then, he's been undefeated. He is on a 9-fight winning streak.
Yeah.
And he has a win over Sandhagen, the rear naked choke. And people are like, he caught him slipping, caught him early.
That's the fight?
That's the fight. Yeah, that's the fight. But then he has the illegal knee against Jan.
Yes.
And then he has a split win over Jan,
yes.
which I thought he won that.
Yep.
I was like, a split is kind of crazy. But
Jan fell apart after that moment.
Right.
He ain't been the same since.
But still, anytime you have a split decision, it's looked at as like, did you win?
Yeah.
Maybe
Some
you didn't.
people definitely, and obviously one of the judges thought that you didn't.
Right. Dillashaw fight, he TKOs him, but then reports come out that like Dillashaw popped his shoulder 30 times in training camp.
Yeah, shoulder, yeah.
But he took the fight anyway because he wanted to get paid, got his show money. Yeah, more power to you for sure. But then also you can't really use that as an excuse.
Yeah, you can't. Can't have it both ways.
Can't have it both ways, bro.
You can't take the money and then say, yeah, I got hurt.
Yeah. And then you can't win and be like, yo, I did it on a bum shoulder if you're not going to lose and then say that you had a bum shoulder. You know what I'm saying?
I'll tell you what's going on with Aljo off air. I ain't going to say
okay, yeah.
I ain't going to put that on wax.
So let's go back there, right? So split, illegal knee against Jan, split against Jan, finishes Dillashaw in the second round, but he has a shoulder injury. And then against Cejudo, it's a split, which, again, I thought that was ridiculous, too.
That one was a split?
That was a split decision,
I thought that was UD.
No. That was a split also on Cejudo. Oh. So this is the first fight that Aljamain Sterling, from a betting perspective, the odds are in his favor in the sense of, this is what the line should be.
What's the line right now?
Minus 280.
Solid favorite.
That's what it should be for him. Sorry, minus 260, my bad. Consensus 260, 280.
Okay.
It's around there. But he's close to a 3-1 favorite. That's what it should be against him.
Yeah.
And that's how I think this fight plays out is Aljamain Sterling has him covered everywhere but standing, and I think he's going to be able to impose his will. We haven't seen O'Malley go up against any grappler of this magnitude.
Yeah.
And I think the only way to, if you're on O'Malley, is you have to bet him by knockout at plus 330. He's not winning a 5-round decision over Aljo.
No, especially not this because this is his first 5-round fight.
Huge fucking key that I feel like not a lot of people are talking about.
That's a huge deal.
Massive. Aljo's been fighting the last let's go.
2 years.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4. The last 4 fights definitively have been main events and have been 5-rounders or title fights. Yeah.
And I always find it so fascinating because like you'll look up and dudes will be gassed in 2. Like they're a walking zombie coming out in the 3rd round. And it's like, how would this person ever elevate to even wanting to be champion when he can't even go 2? You know what I'm saying? So like that is a much bigger conversation than, oh, it's just 5 rounds. Like, no, that's a big deal, especially if you've never, I'm not saying that O'Malley doesn't have the gas tank because he's proven that, he's fresh at the end of 3 and all that. So I don't see it being too much of an issue, but it is something to consider. Definitely.
I think Aljamain wins, and I think he puts a stamp on 135 with a stoppage. I think he ends all doubt, derails the hype train before he goes up to 145. And he says, yo, Merab, here, I'm vacating this belt. You're next in line. Clearly, he's next in line. You fight for the belt, and I'll go up and fight at 145. I'll fight whoever wins between Topuria and Volk, whenever that fight's going to go down. But that's how I think that plays out.
That fight. Oh, that sucks, bro. Because if he moves up, I see him having more problems. I don't see him moving up. I know you want to move up to have the challenge, whatever, but it's like, I'm cool kicking it down here being champ. like I know, but to your point with Merab, I get it. But that's difficult. That's really tough.
It's weird, man. It's weird. But I think, he's also made it very clear that he's probably not going to be doing this for that much longer. He's getting up there, man. He's 34. And you got to remember, he's 34 at 135. He's not a heavyweight or a light heavyweight up there where your career tends to last a little bit longer the heavier you are.
Yeah.
Where the wear and tear for the smaller guys, it adds up. And then when he gets ugly, he gets really ugly, like quickly.
Yeah.
Those
weight cuts.
So I think Aljo puts a stamp on 135 with a dominating win. I've already bet his submission. He's part of subathon already. Okay. He'll be one of the legs in there.
Okay.
But I'd be lying to you if I said that my favorite bet isn't fight doesn't go the distance. So I think whoever wins gets their hand raised. And also if you think O'Malley wins, look, dude, there's a legit case to be made that he could be on this McGregor path. Like the McGregor,
sure.
The aura of him, the swagger, the way he talks, carries himself. O'Malley by knockout is plus 330. I would bet him by knockout to win as opposed to his money line at plus 210.
Yeah. You have a lot more value there.
Yeah.
For sure.
That's, in my opinion, that's his only path to victory.
And that's how he would win.
Yeah.
If he won, it would be, I don't see it like as a domination, but like maybe something happens, you get caught, whatever.
And I would go a step further. It would have to be in rounds 1 or 2. Right? Because to your point before, how you said we haven't seen him in a 5-round fight.
Yeah.
You get O'Malley round 1, 8-1. O'Malley round 2, 12-1. And this is just to win in that. So if he throws up a miracle submission, which I would doubt.
Yeah.
But
you still win.
cover as long as it's in round 1 or 2. So I like that, man. That's how I think I'm playing this fight for sure.
That's good action.
What do you think about the co-main?
Zhang Weili, I think, truthfully, I got to see her defend her belt multiple times. You know what I'm saying? Like, we thought that she was here, and then Rose came out chanting, "I'm the best." And that's still probably one of my all-time favorite. Like, that's probably my all-time favorite female UFC moment is her chanting, "I'm the best." And just because Rose is so cute. I think she's like the cutest thing ever.
Assassin though.
Yeah, I know. Like straight kid. Like her name is Thug Rose. Like
my mom is obsessed with her.
Yeah, she's dope.
So I was watching one of the countdowns one time, and they were showing like the behind the scenes of her. She like gardens and whatnot. My mom's like, "Oh my gosh, she's so adorable." And then it cuts to her just throwing a head kick. She's like, "Is that the same girl?" I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "Oh my gosh, she's a savage." I was like, "Yeah, she's a beast."
There's two sides to everyone.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. The other side, this girl she's hungry. Lemos, right?
Mm-hmm.
She's hungry and we'll see. Again, back to the Weili's been here. You know what I mean? This other girl hasn't. So that's just that is the one thing that I can say, because at least with Rose had been champion. Rose had gone through her own, darknesses and different things. And so, but she was used to that stage. She was accustomed to it. These other girls, that's not the case. So that's where some of that stuff with I've never been here before, it really does start to show up. But I think if Zhang Weili wins, I think it's by knockout. I don't see it. I mean, it could go the distance just because the other girl might not do much, but I think she probably wins by knockout.
So this is fascinating. Fight doesn't go the distance is minus 360. So they're saying that this fight is not going to go to the judges.
Yeah.
The under 3.5 rounds is minus 200. So they're saying that this fight's probably going to end within 3.5 rounds.
Yeah.
Right. I agree with you with Weili. I think Weili she's complete everywhere. Though I'd be a little nervous if Lemos takes it to the ground.
Yes.
Lemos has some submission wins on her resume. And I think this is the first time that Weili goes up against someone that's not a striker. Look at the last couple of fights that she's had. It's been Rose twice. It's been Joanna. It's something that I think is going to be really important to see because, yeah, she fought Carla Esparza, but, she was like a 3-1 favorite against Esparza.
Yes, and Carla, listen.
Was coming off a controversial win or head-scratching win when she beat Rose the way she did.
Yeah.
So I think Lemos is going to be the first person that she goes up against that she's going to have to worry about takedowns and potentially what happens if the fight ends on the ground or goes to the ground. So
have we ever really seen her down there? I don't think not in the UFC. I don't remember. I can't definitively remember her being taken down or how she even responds to that.
Nah, man. She her last win is a submission, right? Rear naked choke on Esparza.
Yeah.
But besides that, she has a submission win over Jessica Aguilar by armbar, and then prior to coming to the UFC, she has a win by submission via armbar also. But besides that, it's she's been really dominant, bro. She lost her first fight in her career, and then she's only lost to Rose.
Yeah.
Everything else is just dominating wins, and they're TKO, sub, TKO, head kick, one decision, TKO, split that she won, TKO.
What was the split?
She won a split decision over Joanna.
That was Joanna, right?
Yeah, I was there at that fight, dude.
Were you?
Yo, best fight I ever seen in my life.
Listen, those two women, they deformed each other,
bro. In person, that was the first time I ever went to a UFC event in Vegas. Mm-hmm. Remember, that was Izzy Romero.
Yes. Yeah.
And this was the co-main. O'Malley actually fought on that card as well.
Yeah.
But this was the co-main, and this stole the show.
It was incredible.
And then it was an absolute dud by Romero and Adesanya. But people were like, it don't even matter, honestly, because we just got the greatest fight of all time, arguably. That shit was a banger, bro.
Yeah, it was. Yes, it was.
So
Joanna's forehead was out here.
It was able to reach the camera. That's how brolic that shit was. That was coming out, bro.
Oh, I haven't heard brolic in forever. You are 100% from New York.
But dude, I think this fight, look, she's a big favorite, and I think justifiably so. She should be the big favorite. However, kind of like Lemos, man. I think Lemos, look, she slipped up where she got triangled standing by Jessica Andrade.
Oh, wow.
The head and arm triangle standing.
Yeah.
Yo, greatest story ever. I'm watching this fight with my boys, and we all bet on Lemos. I was like, yo, Lemos is going to win. And she gets caught in this exchange, and she's in an arm triangle standing.
Yeah.
My boy's like, yo, is she in danger? I was like, nah, man, she's fine. Because, I do jiu-jitsu. I was like,
standing.
She'll be all right. You can't submit from there. And then all of a sudden, she's like, I was like, oh. My friend's like, you fucking idiot. You don't know shit. I was like, yo, I didn't know you could get submitted from up there, bro.
I didn't know that
happened. I was like, I didn't know that could happen. My bad. Damn. I just got my blue belt, too. My friend was like, yo, you ain't shit, bro. I was like, of course. So when I tell you that she's safe, she ends up submitting, right? But the reason why I bring up that story is because if that doesn't happen, she's probably already fighting for a belt, bro.
Lemos, yeah. No, that's fair.
That was a little hiccup in the road, but
yeah,
I like fighters that are complete, that could beat you standing or take you to the ground. And her last two wins have been a submission and a standing TKO against Marina Rodriguez, who I felt like was the future champ of 115. So I think Lemos is interesting. I'm going to back Weili, but Lemos by submission, I think 15-1.
Ooh.
I like that one. That's not going to be in subathon. That's too big of a number.
Yeah.
But I do like.
Here's 20.
Yeah, 20 piece, easy, bro. That's a layup for sure.
That's her path to victory. You start talking paths to victory.
Yeah,
that would be her path. I don't see her outpointing Weili over 5 rounds. I just don't. So we'll see. We'll see.
Is there any other fight on this card you want to discuss? Any storyline?
I think the Magny Gary fight is interesting. Ian Gary, got to know him during International Fight Week. He's actually very cool. Like when I met him, got to know him. He's actually really, really funny. Got to hang out with his little baby son and his wife, and yeah. So, but as far as Magny, I mean, this is kind of a crossroads fight for him, and it's also I talked to some of my fight friends about like gatekeeper fights, where it's like, you're the guy that basically, if he beats me, then okay, now he can really start to get pushed, and he can really actually. I think if Gary wins, and if he wins convincingly, he's probably 2 fights from a title shot.
No, don't get crazy.
I wouldn't be shocked.
At 170, there's a lot at 170, bro.
We've seen it before. He's ranked now, right?
Yeah, he's ranked now.
Oh yeah.
Magny forever number 9 in my head. Forever just number 9 in the ranking.
Yeah.
You're right about the gatekeeper role.
Yeah.
Everyone that's fought Magny has went on to at least contend for a top 5 or a title. But dude, you got Usman is still there.
Yeah.
Leon Colby. You got Gilbert Burns is still lurking. You got Bilal Muhammad, who's severely disrespected.
Bilal, hey, shout out to Bilal. Bilal needs his shot. It's really getting stupid at this point.
Yeah. And you got my boy Shavkat.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the future champ right there.
I think, okay, look at it this way.
So maybe Gary, if he wins this,
he wins this, 2 fights.
Oh, dude, we got Luque now too, who's back at 170.
Yeah. But if he wins
you're saying
this, though,
you're saying 2 fights and then a title shot?
Yeah.
Okay, I can see that a little bit more. I misinterpreted that before when you were saying.
It's okay.
Yeah.
But because I mean, because once if he beats him, he's comfortably in the top 10. And if he beats so say he gets, I won't say Usman, but say he gets somebody in that top 4. If he wins that, it's a shot. It's over. He's getting because I'll tell you why. Because the way they've done Bilal, they've put Bilal on bricks and they've kind of made him wait, and he's waiting in vain essentially. Sometimes they just don't like certain people, and they don't want because there's nothing you can put against Bilal. Bilal's had an unbeaten streak now for a while.
Anyone else who's on the run that Bilal Muhammad has been on would have gotten the title. And it's funny because I've been making these jokes of anytime they ask Dana White what's next for Bilal, Dana White will be like, we got plans for Bilal, and I'll just cut to Shavkat. And it's like, that's going to be because he doesn't want to give a guy like Bilal a title shot. It was the same thing that happened with Dariush.
Yeah.
Right? Like those guys that are not going to talk trash, they're kind of very religious. They're very about their fight, and that's it. They don't want to they want to just fight. If they could skip all the buildup, they would.
Yeah.
Dana don't like that because it is a business and they want to sell the fights. So guys like Dariush and Bilal, he's like, man, can they lose? I'm sure he was bricked up when Charles Oliveira got a stoppage on Dariush. He's like, all right, now I don't got to worry about that no more. Because if he would have won that, then he would have had a title shot.
That's right.
Right?
1,000%.
So I could see that being the case. And then when he's like, oh, we got plans for Bilal, it's like, damn, you're going to throw him Shavkat, aren't you?
And that's nonsense.
Yeah.
Because he's been in line for a title.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Gilbert Burns has gotten his shot. Gilbert Burns fought Usman.
Yeah.
So he's had his shot. Now he's still lurking, he's still there. And shout out to Gilbert. Gilbert's a good dude too. But you know what I mean? A lot of these guys have had their shot and they've either won or lost. So, Bilal's the only one in there that's unbeaten and just waiting. So we'll see.
Yeah, I'm not as excited for that fight as you are, just because I think Gary kind of does whatever he wants with him. But the thing I'm the most excited about, I shouldn't say most excited about, but Damon Blackshear fought last week.
Yeah.
Got a submission. Thank you, because I bet him by submission. Fought on Saturday. Got a performance of the night bonus. and is now going to get paid again to fight on a pay-per-view spot against Mario Batista, you're potentially looking at him just making about $100,000 in 7 days.
Tell me. He fought back-to-back?
He fought on Saturday. Now he's fighting on this card.
Yeah.
Because he got like a takedown right away and then got a submission. So he took no damage. Mario Batista was supposed to fight Cody Garbrandt. That fight got canceled. They kept Mario Batista on the card.
Yeah.
And they were saying how TBD, we're going to find an opponent. And Damon Blackshear is stepping up. What I'm saying is that for fighters, sometimes you can make a lot of money if you just step up and not worry about rankings and not worry about like, I don't have enough time to prepare. Like, this dude got in there, got a clean victory right away, fought on Saturday, got paid for his show bonus, got a $50K bonus for performance of the night, got a win bonus, and now he's going to fight again on the pay-per-view. You're looking at potentially 6 figures in 7 days for this dude. Life-changing money, bro. And there's a guy who's like, I don't want to call him a journeyman because he's still, I think he might be 3 or 4 fights in the UFC, but it pays to show up, bro.
1,000%.
I'm fascinated by this story.
No, that is incredible. I'm just fascinated by the turnaround.
Dude, remember, this is, by any means, I'm not saying he's shot of Chimaev. Chimaev got popping.
Because he did that. He just kept fighting.
Yeah, he fought like 3 times in a month.
Yeah.
And then people are like, holy shit, this guy's fighting all the time.
Yeah.
So you gain popularity, you gain so much momentum, and then you're also making your money. And then the UFC is like, yo, we got this guy. He's a crazy fuck. We'll just come in there and just fight whenever, anytime, any place.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean.
So I just wanted to show him love for that.
Shout out to him for that.
Yeah.
My main thing is just the damage. The damage.
Well, but that's the thing though. If
he didn't take
any damage, why not fight the next week if it's offered there?
Shoot, you're still down at weight. So
still down at weight. You just had your camp. You know, like it's not like you took 6 weeks off and now you're going back in there. I think it makes sense.
Keep going. They gotta get paid more though.
Last thing on the UFC, from a 1 to 10, how excited would you say you are for this pay-per-view?
What is 10 for you? Like McGregor is 10, John Jones is 10.
Oh, this is good.
Who else is a 10?
No, man, I think everything is case by case. I don't think it's anything is
there's levels.
I don't think everything is generalized like that, but I would say for me it's at like a 7.
Yeah, that's about where I'm at.
Yeah.
That's about where I'm at. Because I mean, I won't say that there's a drop off, but there's definitely, like, oh, okay, that's a good fight. That's a good fight. All right. You know what I mean? So like, I think it's definitely very compelling what's going to happen with O'Malley.
Yeah. Yeah. The takeaway is going to be incredible, especially if he wins. If he wins, it's going to be epic.
Yeah. And same thing for Aljo. If he wins, like you said, he can officially solidify
you cement yourself at 135 and then you start talking legacy.
Yeah.
Which is what a lot of these guys fight for.
Yeah.
Especially once in those weight classes where, it's a 10-pound difference.
Yeah. It's
not going from middleweight to heavyweight or middleweight to light heavyweight even, 20 pounds. Like that's a big change. But I'm excited for this, man.
It's a different dude.
A different dude, yeah. Be on the lookout on the Patreon. We'll have the betting picks for this weekend. Before we wrap up, I want to talk some football. Running back news. Two running backs have signed with new teams. One I think matters. One is like, I think Dalvin Cook matters. I think Dalvin Cook is a hell of a running back. I think he's one of the top backs in the league.
Still.
I think he fell victim to Minnesota is kind of in cap hell. They want to move on, go a little younger with Madison. And also, he's coming off a pretty serious injury, shoulder injury. But man, when he's out there, like, dude is electric. And he could do it all as a running back, which is something that I like. He could catch out the backfield, he could block, and he could run.
Yep.
He's 28 years old. I still think that he's fresh enough, and he could still be the Dalvin Cook that we've seen this year also. And then when you're looking at the Jets, Breece Hall is coming off the ACL. So this is a little bit of insurance to have a stud running back so that when Breece Hall comes in, because, dude, that offense was electric last year when he was healthy.
So that's the only thing. That was the only issue that I had from the Jets. I will say to your point as far as Dalvin, the one thing that we don't even know is how good Dalvin Cook would be with an elite level quarterback. What?
Okay.
Like elite, like because Aaron Rodgers, I mean, we can all say that he's taking a step back, but Aaron Rodgers is still light years past Kirk Cousins. So Dalvin Cook, for the majority of his career, has been with solid quarterback play. If you actually have your quarterback be a weapon, how much more dangerous does that make me? You know what I'm saying? But my thing, as far as the Jets are concerned, as far as Breece Hall, it's unfortunate because, you know, Breece got hurt mid-season. So I don't think he's really ready. You know, he just got activated. But at the same time, does it stunt his growth? That was something that I literally, when I saw this, that was the first thing I thought of, was like, I don't want it to stunt his growth. So we'll see.
I think it's more so for the injury standpoint that they're bringing him in than it is that they know that he's the guy. But let's not go in there and right away give him 25 carries.
Yeah.
Let's work him in a little bit. Do a little like 60-40, Dalvin Cook. And then come week 9, 10, let's flip it the other way. Now we're going 60-40 maybe with Breece Hall.
You think so?
Yeah, that's what I think the plan is ultimately. They like Breece, man. And Breece was
They were a playoff team.
He was an offensive rookie of the year.
They were a playoff team, and then he got hurt, and the wheels came off the bus.
Yeah, it kind of plummeted after that.
Straight up.
Now, the concern with Dalvin Cook is going to be what he's running behind. That offensive line ain't that good, bro.
I keep hearing that. I heard that earlier from a Jets fan that was like, our line is trash. And I was like, really? That's not good.
Yeah.
That's not good at all.
And when I was talking about it with some of the guys in here before you came and we started recording, how on Hard Knocks, Robert Saleh was saying, we got Garrett Wilson, we got all these guys, we got Aaron Rodgers, but we can't block. It won't matter. And that's true. Like their offensive line was getting a little eaten up by the Carolina Panthers. And that was the question mark coming into this training camp and coming into the season, has been like, yeah, you got all these flashy toys, got all these weapons now. Shit, you got Aaron Rodgers, the best quarterback you've ever had on your organization.
That's actually, wow.
No, it is. It's like no
Well,
question.
wait.
Nah, come on. Like,
What about young Brett Favre?
Nah, bro. When Favre got there and when Rodgers got there, it's completely different.
Think so?
Yeah.
Brett turned around and had a good year with once he left and got to the Vikings.
The Vikings, he played way better.
Yes, for sure. But he also didn't have, dick pics out there and stuff.
That's a different conversation. The pink rocket had to be shining. I don't know what they want me to tell you. To each their own, bro. But Aaron Rodgers is the best quarterback they've ever had.
Yeah, obviously they don't have a very storied history of quarterbacks.
Yeah.
It's Joe Willie and then drop off, then Vinny Testaverde, and then Chad Pennington. So
there's a lot of excitement with the Jets, and rightfully so, but also the offensive line is not that good. And that's going to come back to expose them. And especially those first 6 weeks, man, they play some serious fronts. They play some really good teams up front.
Yeah.
Play Buffalo, you play the Eagles, who led the league in sacks last year. You're playing Kansas City. Like, you're playing some really good teams, bro. Yeah. So we're going to have to wait and see. Now, the other move that happened in division also, which you were like, yo, we got to talk about Zeke going to the Patriots. And I was just like, yeah, you want to talk about a guy that's going to have 240 carries for 312 yards? Be my guest. The floor is yours. I'll allow you to talk about Zeke.
Hey, listen, okay? This is for your page. You do Cowboy posts because Cowboy posts do well, whether they're inflammatory or cheering along. And obviously the jersey that I'm
trying
wearing,
to get clicks, right?
Yeah, of course we live for the clicks. So you gotta do. Look, you go where the clicks are. You want to be where the people are. But so my thing when I saw it, right, it can go one of two ways. It can be exactly what it's been. Or Ezekiel Elliott, showcasing he's getting his hair cut. You know what I mean? Because, he always had the curls and the fro and everything, and now he's buying into the Patriot way. If he buys into the Patriot way and isn't doing a lot of stuff and just does his job, because, that's what being a Patriot is, do your job, it could be interesting and very similar to, I think, what happened with Corey Dillon. So we'll see. I mean, Corey Dillon, when he went there, was older. You know what I mean? People thought he was past his prime. Oh, Corey Dillon's not Corey Dillon anymore. He goes there. They win titles. I don't think that this roster is that roster, and they don't have Tom Brady under center. But
I'm glad you mentioned that part.
Yeah, obviously. But I will say that I think that they'll be okay. I don't think he'll ever return to the burst that he had when he first came in the league those first 2-3 years. But I think he'll be close to 1,000-yard back. They don't have anybody else. So you got to give him the ball. And Mac Jones needs help. And Mac Jones plays on schedule, and if you're feeding Ezekiel Elliott, yeah, I mean, we'll see.
Yeah, they got Stevenson though. You don't like Stevenson?
That's right. I do forget.
Ramondre.
Yeah, Ramondre.
I like him. I like him a lot.
He went very early in the fantasy football draft. American fantasy football. I was like, that's a little high, but all right.
Yeah, the concern that I have with Zeke on the Patriots is that he's going to fit the mold for them this year. That they probably have the slowest offense in the league. Like they have no speedsters.
Tyquan Thornton. Burner. He was hurt. He was hurt.
Bro, you're telling me a rookie that we haven't even seen on the field?
No, last year. He's not a rookie this year. He was a rookie last year.
Yeah, but he got hurt.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean,
I'm talking about
he has speed. You said they don't have no speed.
Man, I'm talking about like number 1 and number 2 wide receivers. You're giving me like a special teamer that's going to be out there.
He's not a special teamer.
Bro, he's not. Look, they got Juju Smith, right? They
not fast.
They got Parker, right? Devontae Parker is there.
Yeah, not fast.
Mac Jones is slow. Tight ends are slow. Like, this is just a slow offense.
They're just slow.
It's just a slow offense, bro.
Defensive side of the ball, they're getting fast. Christian Gonzalez is burner. I'm not going to continue because I don't know their team that well. I'll yield the rest of my time.
Hold on, because I saw this chart today, and they were talking about how slow the 40 times for the New England Patriots are.
Stop.
Yeah, and it's like the slowest in the league, bro. And I remember just looking at the roster, even before I looked at it, I was like, yo, these guys are like not fast.
These guys are not fast.
Mac Jones, 4.8 at his pro day. Ramondre Stevenson, 4.65 at his pro day. Zeke ran a 4.47 at the combine. It's probably a 7.47 now. Juju ran 4.54. Devontae Parker in 2015 ran a 4.45. That's probably like 4.9 now. Kendrick Bourne, 4.68 back in 2018. And Hunter Henry at his pro day, 4.68. They're all like sub 540s now, bro. And your boy that you mentioned, not even listed on the depth chart. So it's just a slow offense. And Zeke, if you want, look, Zeke is incredible for 1 or 2 yards. If it's 3rd and 1, it's 4th and 2. You want to run it with Zeke? Go ahead.
You want me a list? You want me a list with Tyquan Thornton's 40 times since you wanted 4.28.
Okay.
So they do have one. They got one greasy fast guy. They got grease at one spot. He was hurt. So we're gonna see. But this also isn't Madden. So I also just know that child from Madden, and he became a god in Madden. so please don't allow please don't listen to that as far as that, because
enough.
I'm going off Madden.
I spent more time talking about the Patriots than I thought I would. I think the move is mid. I think it doesn't matter. And that's today's episode. That's it.
Sounds good.
Putting my foot down on the Zeke talk.
No NFC North.
No. We'll do that next pod. But for this one, we're wrapping up. At Nick Dais 10 you can find me. All things Veterans Minimum, or at Veterans Minimum. Josh, the floor is yours. Tell people what you're working on and where they can find you.
Oh, the American Fan 365. We are on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. We're everywhere. Just had Sean Merriman in the studio a couple weeks ago, and then now working on O.J. Simpson and a couple other guys. So actually, and I meant to say this earlier, from our childhood, and you're a little younger than me, but I know that you were still an arcade kid. I'm working on the voice of NBA Jam.
Whoa.
That's cool, right?
That's dope.
Okay,
yeah.
All right. I was because I literally, so I went to Slam Ball. I went to Slam Ball with Jamal on Tuesday, and And so we're in there, and I just started saying, oh, in like my mind. And I was like, yo, whatever happened to that guy? I need to find that guy. And so I found him. And so now I'm trying to get him on the show.
Damn, that's like finding the EA Sports guy.
That's pretty good too.
That's a good one too.
That's a good one as well.
All right, you guys. Catch you guys next time.